This is TWiT, This Week in Tech, episode 24 for Sunday, September 25th, 2005. And welcome once again to This Week in Tech, live from Noonan's Bar and Grill in beautiful downtown Larkspur Landing, California, and a big cast of TWiTs today in our once again live broadcast. Shall I introduce you? Somebody sent me an email, said, for some reason my MP3 player dies after the first half hour, so could you do all the good stuff in the first half hour and introduce people at the end of the show? And I thought, no, I can't. Patrick Norton, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! I love you! Sitting to his right, John C. Dvorak. Hello. He gets no spam, although apparently that's not true.
No, actually, well, somebody sent me some in the mail, but I do have some news later.
All right, we'll talk about that. Robert Heron from PC Magazine. Hello, Robert. Roger Chang from GameSpot.com. David Prager is here. He's from Rev3. Yes. And, of course, last but not least, Kevin Rose. And also, we're going to talk a little bit later on to Amber MacArthur is here from Command N Television and Call for Help, and from OpenAlpha.tv we've got Jen Cutter, so we've got more people. And by popular demand, we finally got some women on the show. You know, after we had Jessica Corbin on, I've been asking her back again and again, and she just won't come anywhere near us.
Her email address. She's decided to she's changed the locks.
Maybe she's not getting the emails with the requests.
So because, John, you're so famous for I Get No Spam, we got some hats. This is a I Get No Spam hat.
All right.
For John C. Dvorak. Look at that. Isn't that great?
That's what I need.
I didn't order that. I want to thank Chris Haynes from Corporate Casuals who
getting a lot of
made
good
those.
Stuff.
We get a lot of good stuff. There's a TWiT hat.
Yeah, I need a couple of those.
If you guys like these, we can hand these around. If you guys like these, we can make. Would you buy TWiT hats if they were available? You know, it's gonna end up being like one of those. We don't have enough to give them to everybody.
We don't do any advertising. We just sell clothes.
Well, that's it's going to be like one of those concerts for somebody who hasn't had a hit in 30 years, right. But they're selling the stuff in the back, you know. And then what from Australia? You came all the way from Australia? Step up to the red mic there. This is going to be the first TWiT where we actually spend the first 20 minutes talking nonsense. Where are you from?
From Sydney, Australia.
That's great. Welcome. And you brought us something to eat. What is this?
Can you say something about shrimp on the Barbie?
Shrimp on the Barbie?
Yeah, never.
Yeah, when you get back there, can you say hi to my friend Canadian Paul, who's in Sydney right now?
I'm sure you seem right off this.
I bought you some kangaroo jerky.
That's good. It says
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
You're eating it.
Australians wouldn't eat that, you know.
They don't drink Foster's either.
Yeah, no, that's true. We don't drink Foster's. Wouldn't touch Foster's.
With a stick.
I'm
but
told that.
exports.
It's for Americans.
By the way, the flavor enhancer 621.
What's in this?
That's monosodium glutamate.
Oh.
Hey,
we figured it out.
It says. It says not to be sold in the United States.
Is that what it says?
I made that up.
You made that up.
I did declare it coming in.
Did you?
And they thanked me.
What did the customs guy said? Thanks for bringing us jerky.
They said thanks for actually admitting it. Yeah.
And he let you in.
And he let me in.
It's sanitary jerky.
It's sanitary. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's very nice of you.
It's
We
really
really appreciate it.
actually.
It is good, and we're giving it to everybody.
Well, he's our longest guest ever.
We're shying
away.
That's really good. He's our longest traveling audience.
The farthest audience member? Yeah, people come from all over
contest
to see.
In fact, let's give him a can of Spam.
You know, it's cultural exchange. That's what that is.
So we apologize.
You're welcome.
That's a cultural exchange.
Are we going to start with the most important story of the week?
What is the most important story of the week by far?
The MS reorg or Tivo driving itself off a cliff?
The official announcement of the breakup of Microsoft.
Dvorak announced it. That's but Microsoft did. Now we're all going to sound like we're eating beef kangaroo jerky the whole time.
Well, let's pause the tape for a moment while we all finish chewing.
There's no tape. There's no tape. So Microsoft did a reorg. First, what's the story there? What did they do?
Well, it looks to me as though they're in a panic mode. Here's a company, by the way, that is basically the stock's flatlined over the last few years. And historically, Microsoft's always attracted a lot of really good people by promising them a lot of stock options and then letting the stock go flying high, and then they'd make all the money on the stock, and they wouldn't have to pay them a lot.
Right, but they're now millionaires.
Now they got to actually pay them real money, and people aren't interested. They'd rather be millionaires than high salaries.
This accounts for the brain drain to Google.
And many a brain drain. I mean, there's a lot of guys I've run into over the last couple of years that used to work for Microsoft, and they're all these go-getters, and they're much happier working in a little startup where they can get maybe make a few $1 million on a stock deal. So by reorging it, and it looks like if you look at the reorg, it's almost like if you just theoretically divided the company up into 3 companies that could stand alone, that's what they're doing. And it seems to me they're either going to punch out one or more of these companies.
So what are the 3 divisions?
You got Xbox and all that stuff.
The consumer.
Yeah, and it's got the keyboards and all the other things. And then you have the operating system tools guys, and then you have the office software stuff.
That does sound like 3. And 3 fairly good companies.
Yeah,
right?
and the office guys, they can do the SAP kind of products, and they do the enterprise stuff, and then the original Microsoft I think would be. I think that if they're going to retain a name, they'd retain it for the OS part of the business.
Oh, so they'd have to rename these other.
Yeah, I think these would either be another public companies that could have their separate stocks, or it could be they could even take the Xbox one, it seems to me, and roll it out as an IPO, and because they're going to need a lot of cash to compete in that business. Roll it out as an IPO and then become just a gaming company.
But John, if you were going to do a reorg, you would reorg along business lines anyway. I mean, it doesn't mean that
they've reorged 5 or 6 times, and they've never reorged this nicely. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to reorg.
Or are they finally trying to get back to the original flat management structure that kind of carried them during the first couple of decades?
Well, it seems to me that what I argue is that if you take a look at the Microsoft cash cows and their core competencies, each one of these separate entities has one of them, not 2 of them in it, which means that they could sustain.
Right.
I think it's a bust up.
So when is it going to happen?
It would take probably 1.5 to 2 years.
And where does Bill go?
I think Bill would go with the OS company.
That's what it is.
But he'd get a lot of stock with the other companies.
Yeah, he'd sit on the board of all the companies.
Yeah.
Right?
Where does Ballmer go?
Well, Jeff Rakes is...
Who gets Ballmer?
I think Ballmer's going to retire. I think Jeff Rakes, by the way, they had to give him something eventually. He's the guy that they gave the Office division to. And Rakes is the guy they've been grooming since day one to be the CEO.
Right.
And you can't just be sitting around forever waiting for Ballmer to, retire.
Well, the Convenience Center fit in all of that. Do you think that would go for the entertainment
OS
side of it?
Oh, interesting. Not OS.
That would make a pretty powerful...
No, I don't think it'd go on the OS
Pretty
side.
powerful group.
Jim Alchin's going to leave next year.
I was going to say, why wouldn't it go on the OS
He has health
side?
problems.
Oh, okay. All right.
That explains that.
Yeah. Interesting. I think that's a good theory. I mean,
it's as good as any.
It's as good as
It
any.
makes the stock more attractive as a speculation.
Well, there's precedent for this. Other companies have done this. AT&T's done it very successfully.
HP's done it.
HP did it.
It's successfully in the short term, I think.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I shouldn't say AT&T's was very successful.
Motorola's Freescale is successful. There's plenty of examples. The HP stuff where they spun off the
printer division and the...
HP spun off all the...
instruments.
Right, the instruments.
Yeah.
So it's not an unusual thing to do.
It makes sense, especially when a company gets unwieldy, which Microsoft clearly is unwieldy. It's too big. Yeah. So what was the other big story that you had, Patrick, that you wanted to...
Is Tivo...
You said Tivo shot itself in the foot? We did that last week.
Oh, the subscription stuff?
The red flag? What's the subscription stuff?
This is stuff that actually...
Something new?
I think Tivo is trying to drive itself out of business as quickly as possible.
I got a nasty letter
seems that way.
from somebody at Tivo who said, how could you say that? This is a great company.
It may be a great company, and it may be a great product, but with you look at MythTV, there's all the different media boxes that are coming out there. Any new Tivo service subscription activated on or after September 6, 2005, you agree to subscribe to the Tivo service for no less than 12 months, blah, 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 blah. And if you cut out, they charge you a $150 early termination fee.
Whoa!
And you agree to pay any such early termination
That's like
fee.
a cell phone company.
It's very much like a cell phone company.
Is it?
But that would explain, then they can give you the hardware cheap or free, right?
Well, they're already giving you the hardware cheap or free.
It's $50 after rebate. I mean, that's pretty
It doesn't get a lot cheaper than that.
What percentage of providers don't have their own system that they want to
Everybody does. I just got the Comcast cable box. It's just like the Tivo box.
Who are Tivo's new customers then?
I don't know, because it's a pain in the butt. Yeah. Because you have to get the cable to work or the infrared blaster.
See, that's why they can partner with the cable card individuals. The companies
that makes more sense.
And use their front end.
They don't want to do that though. I mean, people like Comcast. Is there anybody that would buy Tivo
as a company?
I would buy a dual tuner.
No, buy the company out. Apple was rumored for a while, but that doesn't really make any sense.
Someone like Comcast, their DVR sucks. If you look at it,
it's not bad. Then it's gotten better.
But it doesn't have the recommendations and things like that.
Do you use the recommendations?
I have before.
I think my TiVo thinks I'm a gay pregnant man. That one? No, I don't. I think
the show.
The only thing that's missing, the only thing that's missing is the wish list, where you can enter in. I want to see everything.
It's season pass.
Right.
It has a season pass.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I haven't played that.
It's not intuitive to get to it. You have to. That's where you record a show, every episode of a show.
Everybody does.
Yeah, everybody does.
But do all PVRs at this point match TiVo's functionality in terms of if your show changes times or channels?
Well, I don't know. I have
will
to
update automatically.
I think so, because shows are identified as by a number, a unique number, and all it's doing is looking for that number. I don't think it cares what the program guide looks like. That's a VCR you're talking. TiVo's recording by number.
The Dish Network one seems to work on time constraints.
You're recording a time, not a show?
Yeah, I mean, it says show, and you click on it, and it spins it up, but if the show doesn't show up or it gets moved, it doesn't record it.
I'll tell you why. Comcast is because you can look ahead to when the next recordings will be, and it will be in a variety of different times.
Can you look ahead a year?
No, you can. That's because of the Tribune listings. It's using the Tribune listings. You can only look as far ahead as the listings go.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah. But that means that the machine is smart enough to say, I'm recording this show, not this time slot. Because that's what I'm saying.
But TiVo isn't that smart, though, because you can still set the little buffers like 5 minutes before, start the recording 5 minutes before the show or 5 minutes after. Because it can't tie into that program guide information like a Comcast box could.
Right.
Right?
No.
It's just taking a time.
All of that.
Yeah, but what if it changes on the back end? Like, what if Comcast flips the time on TiVo? TiVo doesn't know.
That's up to the program originator, either the station broadcasting it or the owner itself.
Even that, you can't tell TiVo to record a sporting event. And
right.
Already,
You're
not going to get
it. It doesn't know.
And already you have the providers tweaking start times and stop times of programs by a minute or so just to screw up the TiVo people.
What I'm saying
recording.
is, if you have a Comcast
like
box,
0 cents if you think about it. Why would you want to screw up somebody that wants to watch your show?
That it really boggles.
Because you want them to watch the ads.
If you have a sporting event and there's like a Comcast box running and it runs a half hour late or extra innings or whatever, will the Comcast box continue to record all the way through the end of
None
the
of them
event?
will currently.
Okay.
Because it doesn't know.
Unless you tell it otherwise.
It don't know.
There might be a plug-in for Myth that does something like that.
How many people offer dual tuners? I mean, of all the
Comcast box has dual tuners.
Yeah, it does. I just got my new box has HDMI out now.
Yep.
Did yours have that too?
No, I have DVI out.
Okay, I have the HDMI.
I would like HDMI, although DVI is the same.
Do any of those boxes let you actually pull the content straight
No,
off?
of course
It's
not.
so funny because they have they have a couple FireWire ports, they have a couple USB ports, they have like Ethernet, but you can't do anything with
None of them work.
ports.
I tried the FireWire port. I thought, oh, cool. Because my TV has a FireWire port. Nothing.
It's just a connector.
It's a connector. It's actually no wiring on the
I
inside.
finally sat down with TiVo To Go service this weekend and actually tried to move content from my TiVo to my PC and then burn that to a DVD I could play in a set-top player.
How'd that work?
It sucks. It sucks so bad.
Was it the analog
Number one, they've
developer,
clearly made a deal, and part of this is the macrovision that has been there for a long time, but the new features that allow content broadcasters to then flag willy-nilly however they want, whether or not you can keep it. But the other deal is with Sonic Solutions and their DVD burning software. The only way to burn from a TiVo box Series 2 to a DVD that you can play in your set-top box is using Sonic Solutions software, which costs you $50. So they must have made a deal with them at some point to say, look.
Well, it seems like they're desperate for revenue streams anywhere they can.
That's been there for a long time. But then I tried it, and I'll tell you, the transcoding, it's encrypted on your TiVo or whatever, but the time it takes you not only to move it over, however fast your network is, but then to simply decode all that video. I had 2 hours of content. It probably took me close to 2 hours to get that onto a DVD, and that's just...
Most people use
better
the
off buying a
MythTV for
set-top
this.
burner.
The MythTV takes care of all these problems.
You turned him on to MythTV, Kevin, and now he's like this big MythTV supporter.
Actually, it was Milo.
Milo Medine?
Yeah, he turned me on to MythTV.
You did watch the system episode, though, right?
But actually, I saw his thing afterwards, and
all right.
Kind of
Somebody would just make a generic set-top box, though, that you could do that with without having to...
They kind of, but they're really clunky.
MythTV was going to have a reference platform. Have you been following that?
Hardware and software?
No, I haven't seen they're going to say this is the spec.
Yeah, the guys who invented MythTV combined with some other hardware guys are going to come out with a reference platform so you could have a Knoppix-like disc. That was MythKnoppix.
Well, that's what you used, isn't it?
But they have all the specs for exactly what you can put.
So that would be nice.
Work.
That would be nice. Yeah. And then just build a disc and
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You just you take the instructions, throw this thing together, throw the disc in. It's
a great idea.
TiVo's been sitting on the same hardware designs for way too long. I mean, why are there no analog dual tuner boxes yet? I mean, sure you can get it for DirecTV, but that's it. And I think that's one of the most important. Once you start using a system like Tivo, it's having that dual tuner ability, the ability to watch anything you want and to record anything you want simultaneously.
Item 3, Steve Jobs says the record companies are greedy. Wow. Wow.
No more than iTunes.
Wasn't this news from like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
2 or 3 years ago?
Well, you know that in January, here's a story. I mean, it is old news in the sense that in January, and we've known this for a while, the record companies get to renegotiate with Apple. And they're pushing Apple to have two-tier. We talked about it at that
those
time.
margins, Apple?
In fact, when we were at the
selling
Apple
that
store,
hardware?
we talked about it. Well, Jobs has stepped forward and said, if the record companies do that, they will be encouraging piracy, and they're greedy. And he's actually taken a pretty firm stand that he will not establish two-tier pricing.
Well, the other thing is that the record companies are already hitting back and saying, well, yeah, we're not getting a split of the iPod sales, so cough up or find another source for your music.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of them.
Yeah, but why should they get a cut of the iPod sales?
They don't want. No, what they're saying, what Steve is saying is, there's no room to make more money here. It's got to be 99 cents. Terribly sorry, you negotiated the deal. And the record companies are like, hey, we don't have this fabulous hardware model we're making money off of. You're making a lot of money off the access we've given you to our catalogs. Do you want to continue to have access to the catalog?
They're getting 70 cents on every one of those sales. What are they bitching about?
They're doing okay.
That's not what I've heard.
No, 70 cents is what the number of the media
70-30, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Edgar Bronfman, former Seagram's heir, who now owns Warner Music Group, said iTunes needs us as much as we need iTunes. So, I mean, there's a battle there. It's true. Who is more powerful? Obviously, the record companies could pull out.
This is a tradition with the record industry that used to happen with the retailers. Tower Records is a classic example. Right. One day, some years ago, they said, we're not paying you.
Right.
And they put the screws to it. We'll pay you, we're putting on net 90. You're not getting paid for a while. And the record companies...
What are they going to do?
What are they going to do?
Of course... Tower's still around. They're still doing it.
Kind of.
But you got to think that Apple, in the long run, the iTunes Music Store is pretty important to the record companies.
So would you still buy if they bump the prices up to $1.50?
Well, what they're talking about, which is fine with me, is charge $1.50 for the new stuff, and then charge less for the old stuff, which I think is fine. This is what Bronfman says. He says there's no content in the world that doesn't have some price flexibility. Not all songs are created equal. So some songs are worth more. We want to charge more. Some songs are worth less. We'll charge less.
What's the evidence of this in the history of the record industry?
Well,
those singles always sold for one fixed price.
You go to the store and there's a sale. They close out bin.
Yeah, some junk they're trying to move from
the store. But now you have online retailers with flexible pricing.
Well, that's the thing. It makes sense because they could change the price all the time.
It gives you one fixed flat rate.
There's nothing physical that they have to get rid of. It's just a file on a disc. It's nonsense.
But I mean, look from their point of view. Look, we're in this great, ultimate flexible world where it's like airline seats. We could charge. Look at airline seats. You could charge whatever the market will bear, and you could change it minute by minute using computers. I'm sure they'd love to do that, right? Screw the customer as much as possible. Sales go up. Price goes up, and it's a perfect situation. You can monitor it and change it as ad hoc. You don't think that'll happen, huh?
Well, who knows? I just think it's ridiculous that these guys don't have their act together.
Well, I think Steve's right that if consumers get PO'd, they'll just go back to Kazaa.
Well, I agree. I mean, right now, I'm okay with spending 99 cents a song, but if it's $1.50, I'm going to go to a Russian site and go crazy. You know what I'm talking about.
Those guys get away with it.
Now, what is this you're talking about? Russian sites? I don't know what you mean.
All of MP3.com. All of MP3. How do they get away with that? I guess there's no copyright law in Russia, right? Would you like some more Kangaroo?
There's no
stuff gets stuck in your teeth.
They've had people go after them, but they've.
It's Russia. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? East Germany. There's a lot of the sites there. Yeah. Bulgaria.
It must drive the record companies crazy. I think, because I've talked to end users who say, no, I'm paying. I get it from all of MP3s, and I pay them $10 a month.
Technically, they are paying. They are paying someone who claims to have legitimate rights to resell the music.
They think it's legal.
And according to the guys at all of MP3.com, it is legal.
I mean, except for the latest tracks that come out, music is really a commodity at this point.
It is.
Damn it. And they will have it on. Pretty soon, every hard drive you're going to buy is going to come preloaded with music.
It should be 50 cents a cut.
It's going to be library-type material.
What about the Yahoo model, $5 a month unlimited? Is that a good model?
You need to get the program called MuvAudio. MuvAudio. You can go look it up.
And you strip out the.
No, what it does is it's like an intermediate thing. When you play the song, it takes the data stream and kind of slips in between like a plug-in and says, let me just move the file over to this, over to here.
I'll take that.
And then so as it's playing it, it's saving it.
Clever. So you think about Apple's model for $1 a song, that is no bargain. That is as expensive as a CD going to me driving to the store buying it.
And the quality is worse.
Yeah. Right.
You don't have the nice little package in the liner
notes and all that stuff.
There's room for innovation.
Item 4, name that worm. There is the Common Malware Enumeration Initiative. I can see you're all very excited about this.
Well, this was like the phone mergers you had up. All of us are like, tell us more, Mr.
Well, I think this is a good idea, because right now, if you get a virus, PC Ceiling calls it one thing, Symantec calls it another thing. Kaspersky you don't know what your virus is, and go do a search, you can't figure it out. So they're finally saying, look, we have to come up with a common naming scheme. It's actually CERT, the Computer Emergency Readiness Team, that's promoting this, so that there's one name for each virus. One girlfriend named in each virus name, and just leave it at that,
It's a great idea.
I think it's about time.
All in favor?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Next item.
Certified nomenclature.
So it shall be done. Make a note of that, will you, David?
Of course.
Firefox, is it safer than Internet Explorer?
It is if you patch to 1.07.
Not if you don't patch, though. No. Yeah, big flaw. And now there's a very explicit description of how to take advantage of this flaw, and you can just take over somebody's computer. You should put this on Dvorak.org/blog.
They will.
They just go there, and you could own their computer. Make them come back again and again.
I can rack up my numbers and then show it to some, advertiser.
Make some money on that stuff. Some security, I get this a lot, and I'm actually curious what you guys think. Some security experts say, oh no, look at Internet Explorer. There are fewer flaws this year than there were in Firefox. Firefox is holy. And then others, and I include myself in this, say, but the problem is that Internet Explorer is an invitation to spyware. Firefox is not. And it's open source, so of course we know about the bugs, right?
I wouldn't use
How many people
else.
here use Internet Explorer currently?
Yeah, how many in the audience?
Internet Explorer users?
That one guy.
Step forward.
Okay, we got one. How many people are using Firefox, Mozilla? Anybody?
Yeah, almost everybody else.
So obviously we've conned y'all into it. So
yeah,
it's part of our grand plan.
It's our fault.
Because we make millions.
You find that the smart money. I've noticed this on my blog because I track all the users, and when this, you can tell when somebody links from like a kind of a dumb site, and then somebody links from a smart site. Depending on, by dumb I mean users that aren't really sophisticated.
They come from MSN or
you can see that the browser stats just changed drastically.
Absolutely.
The Firefox people or smart users all use Firefox.
Yeah. It's like Google. Anybody intelligent? Well, this was a few years ago. This is how you could test if somebody. You used to do that.
I used to do it all the time on Big Thinkers. I'd ask whoever it was. In fact, I got Newt Gingrich. I said, what do you use for a search engine? He should be using Google. He says Yahoo.
There you go.
Does anyone use Opera?
Opera's free now.
I bought Opera back in the day.
Yeah, I use it over way back.
Yeah,
Ted uses Opera. I like Opera.
Opera's a great product.
I think Opera's pretty
Weren't they the first to introduce tab browsing?
Yep.
In a popular browser?
Yep. And now they're free. What's their plan? How are they going to survive?
Survive?
They took the ads out.
They're making a lot of money.
You know what, though? They've done some innovative stuff.
That's how they make money. They make money from... Oh, is that how they make money?
They're making money through
what is it? The Mozilla, off of Firefox, they make like $12 million a year
from their front page?
From the Google searches.
Well,
you mean Google gives them a kickback when you use that little Google thing in the address bar? They get a kickback? Yeah, we got to write a browser. $12 million a year.
Yeah, wait, you didn't read that? They're creating a for-profit, section of Mozilla, and this is like.
It says Opera's built-in search box is currently powered by Google, and Opera gets a cut anytime a user happens to find their way to a Google ad via that search box.
Don't we all use that search box in the browser, right? I mean, you don't go to Google.com anymore. You use a search box in the browser.
Yeah. Yeah,
I miss out on all the Google Doodles now. It stinks.
Yeah, you're right. You don't see the cartoons on the front page.
You guys use Google Start Page?
Yeah. They also have their browser's very scalable, so they license to a lot of folks.
That's where they really make money. When we had Jan von Tetzschner on, that's what he was talking about.
The portable market, right?
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's the first portable phone that makes an attempt to jump to your PC virus. It's a Symbian virus. They're all Symbian for some reason. And when you sync up to your PC, it jumps off your phone onto your PC to infect your PC. Fortunately, it's hard to get on the phone. It's probably harder to get on somebody's phone than it is to get on their PC.
How many people are making that
Sounds like
connection?
a publicity stunt.
Either a Bluetooth link or...
I think all viruses are publicity stunts, ultimately, for the virus author, don't you? Did you see this? Google's offering free Wi-Fi now in San Francisco.
No one I know has been able
cracked.
to
You're
find
the one that said it was cracked, right?
Well, hold on.
Not cracked exactly.
It uses PPTP, which is if you use a bad password, is easily crackable, but...
No, it's secure. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's secure. They're doing it. I think there's a couple of access points in San Francisco, so nobody here has tried it, has found it.
I haven't found it yet.
The idea is people are saying this is the next thing for Google. They're going to do free Wi-Fi. I don't know. It must be one of them things where you get revenue somehow just by people magically using your system. But
You probably have a splash screen that's got
something. And then, so they'll put this we'll be sitting here, we'll be using Google Wi-Fi. But right now, you go on a Windows machine, you have to download a little app. And what the little app does is it handshakes. Well, somebody's figured out that it's just PPTP. And in fact, there's an Apple script that makes it work on OS X for free. So as soon as, if Google does do this, unless they turn this off, you'll be able to use Google VPN. Oh, actually, you can do it now. You can use Google VPN on any wireless.
Yeah.
So I could use it right now. What you'll do is you'll log into Google's servers, VPN servers, and you're securely surfing on any access
And it goes into their Google servers.
It's VPN.
I was using that actually from some of the hardware networks I was playing around with this week.
Isn't that cool?
This is going to make Google a ton of money. A ton of money.
Well,
their Wi-Fi.
Targeted ads or what?
Targeted. I mean, we'll be sitting here right now. You'll have your little sidebar. It'll know where we're at. It'll say, "Hey, Noonan's has a special on beer."
That's the key.
Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it'll be
amazing.
The key.
I finally figured out that that's what Google's entire strategy is. As long as they know what you're going to buy, they can.
Or where you are.
They can give you ads that you don't mind seeing because they're relative to what you're doing.
So how long is it before the local stuff on Google actually starts to become accurate? Because I searching in
not accurate now?
tire sale, and it's like, wow, I can go to Sacramento and buy tires. That's local.
I mean, can't you just tell it what your radius?
Idaho.
You can't tell it your radius is 5 miles.
Yeah, but a lot of times it'll still spit back some more unusual and peculiar results.
Because there's always some guy in Sacramento who paid for that ad saying, I don't care, put him in there, throw it in because
Norton might drive out 93 miles to Sacramento.
You've driven further for less.
Norton would. I think Norton would.
Not for an extra $70 a tire, I won't.
It's so funny, though, with all the wireless protection schemes we've come up with, be it WEP or whatever, that finally we're rolling back to VPN in order to have a good, secure, easy...
But people have been saying that for years.
It works, though.
People have been saying, especially in the corporate world, it's like firewall, put it outside the network and have the VPN.
Guess what? Throw a VPN client on it, or he's the one built into Windows. And
Yeah. And that's what will happen. We're passing around the Kangaroo meat. Let me I want to talk about an interesting story that happened in World of Warcraft. But in order to do that, we have to bring in the two more members of our TWiT contingent. Would you mind, David and Roger, letting your seats, giving up your seats to Amber MacArthur and Jen Cutter? Why don't you come on down? Amber, of course, is co-host of Call for Help with me in beautiful Toronto. What brings you to the... go ahead, put your... Yeah, you'll hear me better, and we'll get this here. There you go. What brings you to the States?
Just decided to come down for the weekend, and
just for the weekend.
Just for the weekend. Yesterday I went to a WebZine conference, which was pretty fun.
How was that?
Yeah, it was really fun. We actually saw a presentation by Phil Troney. I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah, from Engadget.
From Make Magazine.
Or is Make now? Yeah.
So it was good times, and
that's cool.
Flying back tomorrow night.
Wow.
Got to get ready for Call for Help.
That's right. We've got a big shoe to plan.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
how's Command N going?
It's awesome. Actually, Brian, our post-production editor and cameraman,
Brian
right
came too.
There he is. With his fiancée, Barb. They're getting married next weekend.
I saw the Command N T-shirt, and I thought she was just a fan. She's in the family. Congratulations, you guys. That's great.
Sorry, guys.
So you're traveling the week before the wedding? So everything's planned, or are you guys eloping? So basically, is somebody else handling it? I'm like, wow, you're like a wedding. Most people are like sweating blood and like trying to buy napkins. And
I think you guys should just elope. Cut out the middleman.
Vegas rocks.
There's nothing more peculiar than watching a Vegas on a casino floor, or watching a wedding on a casino floor in Vegas.
It's not a casino floor. Do the drive-through chapel.
Yeah, the drive-through's good.
Inevitably, you go in a casino, there's a bride walking through, going to the slot machines. It's the strangest kind of experience I've ever seen. Big white dress.
That's my dream.
Is it? Yeah.
No.
Good luck. Good luck.
Not at all.
Where were we? At CES a couple of years ago. You and I were trying to like eat for the first time in 22 hours, and it's like above the Venice fake canals, and there's just like they're hammering through like every 8 minutes.
It's a bride. Every
they're coming up, and there's like a guy with a Bible, and like bam, they're through, and the next one comes up.
It's pretty amazing.
What's really bad at the Venetians when you have the couple, especially the guy you can always tell doesn't like this. They put him in the gondola and sing to him and drive him up and down that idiotic canal they have in there, which is like way too clean.
It's chlorinated. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
they get this chlorine coming off the canal.
Would you rather have a dirty, stinky, mold-filled canal?
I smelled Venice's canal. This is much better, probably.
Yeah.
Not as realistic though.
Sure, they could pipe in a scent.
So you do Command N is internet only?
Yep.
About 15 minutes a week?
Yeah, actually, we're getting up to almost 20 minutes now, so 22 minutes. This recent episode, which is going out tonight, is about, I think, 16, 17 minutes.
And you do it with Michael Zazara?
Yeah, Michael Zazara, and he's back in Toronto. We've put him to work, and Brian and my brother Jeff, so there's only 4 of us involved, so it's a small, swift team.
It's good, though. I love it. I watch it regularly.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So this was our 16th episode that's going out tonight.
Do you have any idea how many people are watching?
I don't know. It's hard to say. We kind of estimate that approximately 50,000 downloads is about what we're getting each week. So, again, that's a bit of an estimate because of people BitTorrenting the show.
And you don't know if it's mostly Canada or if it's worldwide?
Yeah, we have some pretty decent stats. So it's worldwide. That's the interesting thing is there's people from all over the place watching, from Australia, the Netherlands, Sweden.
That blows me away, too, for this. Yeah. We get people
I love
all over the
that.
world. Yeah.
It's really, really fun. So I've met some interesting people from different places. So.
That's great. And now you've met Dvorak and Heron and Norton.
I know, finally. I always listen to you guys, so it's good to actually be here.
I also want to introduce Jen Cutter, who also has a internet television show called OpenAlpha.tv. And have you done episode 3 yet?
Yes, I released
it's out
just before I came here.
Oh, hallelujah. That's
it's a very
great.
quick one, though.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I shot, edited, posted in the last 24 hours before I got on the plane.
I think it's just amazing to see this kind of emergence of all these shows. What gave you the idea to do a show? I mean, you didn't have any TV experience or anything, right?
No, nothing like that. I wanted some way to geek out about all the games and tech that I can't do locally because I don't have many friends who are into that.
Right. She's a World of Warcraft player, and I wanted to ask you about this virus. Did you guys hear about this? In World of Warcraft, there are instances, right? These are dungeons that occur just for that party. Mm-hmm. So you're the only ones wandering in it.
Yeah, you go in with your group, and then you get your own copy of it. So the next group behind you isn't going to be in the same dungeon.
Which is good. You don't want to be fighting that. So what happened?
What happened is there's this boss. I'm totally going to say his name wrong, but it's in the Zulgor.
Well, no one knows how to pronounce it, right?
Yeah, they always have so many vowels in them. But so this boss is called Hacker, and what happens is when he hits you, you get this corrupted blood disease.
He's the god of
blood.
Blood. So you get sick.
Awesome. You get sick, and now this disease it's pretty powerful.
Well, you got to be a 50-year level or higher to even get in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the top players. You have a level 60 character, yeah?
Yeah.
But I'm a level.
I'll
give you an example. Yeah, I've been playing for months. I'm a level 11. So you got to be pretty good. So this god is fighting you with some pretty nasty stuff.
So this disease actually does about 300 damage a second. Every second, your health is just plummeted. So
if you're a level 60 and you get 300 a second, can you survive?
Oh yeah, especially because when you're in that kind of instance, you've got like a priest and a druid behind you.
The druid's going, "You're better."
But you can't cure the disease though.
Oh.
That was the catch. So you just
it doesn't wear off.
That was the problem. Someone survived the fight, went back to the city with this disease.
And infected the rest of Azeroth.
Including the non-player characters like the Griffin Master.
They would get sick?
They would get sick.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's awesome.
But what happened is...
So these are the robot characters in the game. They're getting sick too.
Yep.
That's how realistic I guess the simulation is. That's amazing. So, and because if you're less than a level 50, it's going to kill you right away.
Yeah, I started a new character.
I mean, I don't have 300 health in my whole...
Yeah, I've only got 200 right now with a level 6. But what happens is when you die of this disease, you then explode, and everyone around you gets that disease.
Yes!
It's sick.
It's the Ebola of World of Warcraft.
God.
They didn't plan it, though, this way.
No, not really. The same thing happened a long time ago when someone's pet got sick, and then they took that pet into Iron Forge, and the pet exploded and took out everyone in the auction house.
That just sounds like a great way to keep people coming back for more.
No, when you die in World of Warcraft, you're not out of the game. You don't have to start over.
It's a 10% item durability penalty. You just have to run back to your body from a graveyard.
That's the pain. You have to go back. You have to find your body and all that stuff. So it's not like the end of the world. But what was the reaction of people to this? I mean, were people pissed off?
Surprisingly, people thought it was really cool that this could happen.
See, that was Robert's reaction.
It's a plague.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Medieval times, oh yeah.
Yeah, get everybody ready for bird flu.
Yeah, right. Avian flu, we're all set. I think, though, that what's interesting is that that's how realistic these simulations have gotten. If the programmers do something a little bit wrong, it kind of acts like the real world, and then spreads. And
they clearly anticipated some sort of scenario like that.
No,
leave that kind of code in there.
But did they, or did they think it would stay in the instance?
It might be organic. You don't know.
Yeah.
I think they thought it would stay in the instance.
I don't think it was planned quite this was going to get out the same way. Like,
And then
someone probably just beat the boss and Hearthstone back to town, and then
she was supposed to stick around and collect stuff and, high-five the other players. Instead, she went back to town and got everybody sick. She was like Typhoid Mary. So I think what did they do to control it? Did they fix it?
Oh, well, some GMs were trying to quarantine players, saying, don't leave this area.
GMs are game
masters.
Okay.
And so, of course, those players went, no, and went running around trying to infect as many people as possible.
Watch out, I'll explode!
Hey, everybody, party at my house.
Come on over.
So the wacky coders who left the plague code in, basically, now the GMs are dealing with the aftermath. It's like, okay, if somebody gets it, we don't actually have a fix for this to keep it.
They can quarantine them, though, somehow.
They can. They can banish you to an area where you can't contact anyone else.
They put you in a tree somewhere you can't get out of.
It's like an annoyance, but a fun one.
I think that you're going to see this is a success. And I think whether it was serendipitous or not, I believe it was accidental. It's going to happen a lot more now, because doesn't it make it more exciting and more interesting? Throw in some variables like this into the game.
It's kind of cool that usually with a high-level character, once they're set, they're a permanent fixture of that game from that point on. And I may have a lot of friends who've made good money per month
selling stuff.
What is good money?
A couple over, say, $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
That's good money.
People are making $2,000 or $3,000 a month playing games.
Jumping onto a brand new massive multiplayer game, building up a character before anyone else, and selling those characters.
You have to get in fast.
They buy it the day it comes out, and they are just so damn good.
Just because there's more
so.
Newbies in there. Jen's like that. Jen told me she could level up very, very quickly.
So how much money can you make a month?
She doesn't do that.
Don't do it so much anymore. But
it's a lot of grinding, but
it's a lot of
cash
grinding,
was there, and it's probably still
and you
is
make stuff too. You learn skills and you can make things. She likes to fish.
Yes, I like digital fishing.
Have you ever actually
money
fished
that way.
in real life? I mean, like a...
No, never.
She fishes in the game.
I think you should try it. Try it.
Spend a little too much time inside, I think. I thought that was a very interesting story. I just think that we're getting,
I think it's kind of creepy, personally. But
you do?
Yeah, for some reason.
I loved Snow Crash, Neil Stephenson's classic sci-fi novel. And really, that was the first book that talked about a metaverse, a world that is a virtual world that's so realistic that people live their lives in there. There's an economy.
It's kind of like your place in Sebastopol.
Yeah, they're very much like that. It's like the barn.
Yeah, but in Snow Crash, they were going to send the virus back into the real world.
That's right.
The programmers that hung out in the virtual world.
Could happen.
So if you all start twitching and
talking
to each other.
happen.
Stay away from Jen, I guess.
Can't happen.
It can't happen?
Come on.
I read too much science fiction, I guess. All right. Any other stories that we want to cover before...
Yeah, I got the one about spam.
Oh, you get some spam.
No, actually, here's the deal.
Where's your hat?
I'm going to post this, by the way, so anyone listening should go to my blog.
What would that be?
And type in Dvorak.org/blog.
Okay.
Type in a content spam. We have a fix for blog content spam that is astonishing. It's essentially Mark Burkell came up with it, and what he's done is he's found a command within the Apache server command structure that you can, which essentially do is block anybody who hits your, because anyone who's got a blog that's running off of any of these systems has got content spam, and you know you have to do this, you do that. It's ridiculous.
You have some problems with that, don't you?
People
spam?
people put the little numbers up to make it, there's all the stuff you can do. Well, essentially, there's a simple command within it, and I'll have the exact code posted, that basically tells anybody coming to your specific domain, if they're not coming from your domain and they're posting comments, then it's just thrown away. Because you can't really post a comment unless you're already on the site clicking on the comment button.
So you're saying they're using some sort of bot to post the spam?
It turns out, because my spam on content spam went once Mark put this online, went from about 50 to 100, well, 50 typically, but sometimes as much as 100 over the weekend. Content spam hits to 2.
Wow. Big difference.
And the 2, we can't figure out how they got through.
So this is just verifying that you'd use the in-page or inside.
Yeah, you're using his form instead of blasting
coming in from outside.
Simple, but
it's so simple. In fact, Marcus is stunned that no one has come up with this because he can't find it in the forums or anything else.
Well, Kevin, you and Amber both use TypePad, and they have anti-spam.
Yeah, what are they? It's called like TypeKey or something like that. Where there's a couple different ways. They give you the option in your account on how you would like to prevent spam, and there's one that you can turn on like. I think it's called like TypeKey or something.
Do they have to use a captcha?
You have to register.
Oh, you have to register.
You have to register as like a registered user, and that kind of
sucks.
It sucks.
It's nice to let people just comment.
Yeah, but you know what? People who comment anonymously and you can't email them tend to be just righteous.
Well, you have to moderate. That's how I handle it on TWiT. Is you have to be a registered member to post on comments on the TWiT board.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think
I agree. It's nice if people could just post.
Yeah, I think so too. I used to have a Blogger account, and I mean, a lot of people just don't want to log in, and they want to just post.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you my information.
I just use bug-me-not. Log in with somebody else's info.
Well, actually, I have a Blogger account too, and occasionally I'll be on somebody's blog and I want to say something, and then they say I have to log in. And there's a point where you say, do I really want to make this comment, or I just want to screw it, let the guy,
I still go in as an anonymous user if I'm posting comments anywhere, just because I just don't want to log in sometimes.
Right. I understand that. And I wish we could do something else with TWiT, but we've had problems.
Slashdot at least gives you the anonymous coward tag if you want to post anonymously.
I love that.
But anyway, this is a pretty cool fix, and it really makes. I mean, I'm stunned by the. Disappeared.
So he's published this somewhere?
Yeah, I'm going to put it up on my blog and put it in some forums probably tomorrow.
Steve, let's take some questions from the audience. What do you say?
Yeah.
Should we do it? All right, audience members, here's your chance. They can actually hear us now. Can you hear us? Yes. Okay.
Has the show started?
As the show started, I got a PA system, and they now can hear us a little bit. So if you've got a question, step up to the red microphone, or comment, or suggestion, or if there's something you feel deeply about, anything we were talking about, please just step up and say hello. What's your name?
Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Hey. This is actually more of a comment question, but I saw on Dig yesterday they had a video from 1998 of you talking about the ultimate gaming machine.
Oh, yeah. Me and Kate. Somebody actually posted that.
What's your comment on that?
It was a Pentium 2. What was it? Did you see it?
It was like you were saying it was great. That was 128 meg. You're never going to need more than 64 meg.
I didn't say that. Did I? Did you? Oh, that's great. You got to get me the link to that.
It was like
right here.
$4,500.
It was hugely expensive. Pentium 2 system. Yeah, I remember that. That's cool. So that was on Dig?
That's awesome.
Well, you know what they did? The Tech TV or G4, all that video's online if you just can kind of dig through it.
You have to be careful about making these kind of accounts. Like I
don't think I said that.
I don't think you're ever going to need more than 100 terabytes of main memory. I think
that's safe. You'll be dead before you need more than that.
Well,
maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. If you follow the Ray Kurzweil longevity method, you might live forever.
Oh,
I thought he had a question. He's just going to the bathroom. Any other questions? Anybody want?
A regular customer. Here we go. Couple guys.
Step right up. Fight it out. He's got a great T-shirt. Will work for bandwidth.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Oh, your Firefox T-shirt.
Actually, let me get a shot of the bandwidth.
Yeah, I was just wondering, are you guys going to have Marty or Megan on the show anytime soon?
I keep inviting Megan. She's got twin boys, and as soon as she can, she will. Yeah, absolutely. She said she would. And Marty is in L.A. We've invited him.
He'll be coming up here.
He's doing his own podcast, though, with Joey the intern.
Yeah, but he'd still love to be on.
Oh, more than welcome. Yeah.
They'd love to be on. This is the number one podcast. Why wouldn't they?
Why would Amber and Jen came all the way from Toronto. Hey. He can come up from L.A.
Exactly.
I think. Yes, and absolutely, we'd love to have him on. In fact, really, the invitation's open to anybody who was ever on Tech TV. If
anybody?
Anybody. Even, what are you coughing about?
Nothing.
All right, maybe not anybody. There are a few exceptions. Go ahead. We'll work for bandwidth. What's your name?
My name's Al. And,
hey, Al.
And, I always thought you were a little bit taller, Leo.
I am shorter in person, I know. Yeah. My head is huge, isn't it?
Is there any way you guys can post your some of your feeds that you read, RSS feeds?
We could talk about them. That's a good idea.
You have a lot of good information I can't find.
That's what geeks do. I've noticed is they'll share their RSS feeds. Mike gave me his RSS feed, his OPML, and I gave him my OPML.
I get most of my stuff from other people. I don't really do that. I don't have
people email you.
People are always emailing me stuff.
That's one thing is that when you're doing what we do, people are always sending you email. I mean, you never, you see all that stuff always go by your email. What do you read anything besides Dig?
No.
Actually, Dig has a lot of stuff.
Dig's a great resource.
We just added, I'll be the first to announce it here. It's people don't know this, but we just added RSS to our search. So now you can search for, say, Dvorak and say, show me just the articles that have X number of digs under Dvorak that have been promoted, and you can subscribe to that feed, and it creates that dynamic feed. Constantly.
That's pretty sweet.
That's a very good idea.
That could be useful in a lot of different ways.
People are doing that more and more.
You know, dig needs to be the where did that mechanism come from?
From me.
Kevin invented
From scratch?
Yeah.
Have you thought about, you know, the thing, every time I see the way the mechanism works, because it's essentially a variation in terms of the way it attracts people, the way Slashdot did, only it's a much more modern concept. But I'm thinking to take the exact same structure and use it in other venues.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, okay.
It's coming.
It's going to be licensable. It's going to be subscribable. There's going to be an upgrade. There's going to be a member version.
He's got. Are you willing to make any announcements?
Not right now. Not right now. But we got a lot of good things coming.
There's some really exciting things.
We at Revision 3 and Dig.com plan to make future shareholders a mess of money.
So there's Leo and Kate on the TV.
Oh, you actually you pulled it up. Huh?
It's up on Google Video.
Running a little slow.
Yeah, we don't have the greatest connection in here, but especially with 18 of us all using our Wi-Fi at the same time.
All downloading off BitTorrent.
Everybody else is watching that video now. You can stop.
Yeah, it's like froze.
So, seriously, that's all you look at? You must look at other stuff because you have to put stuff in the dig.
I like some of the really funky, blogs out there. There's one like We Make Money Not Art. Have you seen that one? With the dashes in between it. They're really cool. Just unique stories. I like all this stuff from the Engadget folks and the Gizmodo folks, and Boing Boing's a fun site.
Boing Boing's the greatest.
Yeah.
Boing Boing and Metafilter are must-reads as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, they're just wild stuff. What do you read, Amber?
I tend to read Waxy Links. I don't know if anyone else reads that.
Great.
What's Waxy Links?
It's basically a blog that this guy has put together, and he puts 4 or 5 or 6 links every day of interesting things that are happening online. He deals a lot with Web 2.0 businesses, so I tend to read that as well as.
Sorry, we were watching the video. You're so thin.
Stop it. That was 7 years ago.
Sorry, go back.
It's okay. I read TechCrunch as well. That's interesting. And also this other blog called RUK.ca, which is a friend of mine, so he always posts interesting stuff. But I also use Furl a lot, as you know.
I subscribe to, now that's a good use of RSS. I subscribe to Amber's Furl RSS.
WAXY. You just have to, I don't know what the URL is offhand, but...
we'll put it in the show notes,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was so lazy last week I didn't do any show notes.
Because I didn't write them up to send them to you.
Yeah.
He wasn't here.
I know. That's why I didn't do any show notes. I'm not going to do them if Patrick's not going to do them. It's just not fair. You know what I've been reading a lot is 43 Folders. I think you told me about that.
Yeah, that's great.
It's kind of a getting things done. This is the new geek thing. Have you read this book, Dave Allen's Getting Things Done book? No. You don't need to do this because you're so organized and...
you're talking to me?
Every geek...
What's it called? 43folders.com?
43folders.com.
Is it 43?
Yeah. Every geek has this issue, I think, of organization, and we're all kind of looking for systems because we're systems oriented, and that's the whole thing. Is this a system? And this blog, actually, is it a wiki or is it? It's devoted to, life hacks. It's like lifehacks.com.
Yeah, productivity.com.
I love lifehacker.com.
Oh, that's great.
I love that too.
That's really fun. I'm going to get me a Moleskine. That's the key.
I have one.
That's the key. Do you have one?
Yeah.
That's the geek.
Yeah.
You don't know about these?
No.
This is another geek fetish object.
Well, tell me.
They were supposedly, this French company used to make them. They stopped in the 60s. They're oilskin notebooks. Do you have your Moleskine? You can't really be a Moleskine fan if you don't have it. Here's these come.
I don't have mine with me.
So it's a little notebook. Apparently, Van Gogh used one. All these famous people have used it. It has this little rubber band on it. It's a little black book. That's it.
Yeah,
It is a geek fetish object. All the geeks are starting to carry these things. Is it it's thin paper?
Yeah, it's pretty thin.
You can get it like graphed or straight line or.
There's actually a group on Flickr where people are hacking their Moleskine notebooks.
By the way, it's Moleskine.
Moleskine?
It's an Italian company. The French company went out of business in the 60s.
Well, it was originally a French paper store.
Yeah, and they went out of business. A guy named I can't remember his name. It was a well.
I mean, the problem is if I walk into Office Depot and I say, "Where are the Moleskine notebooks?" They're gonna look at me going, "You mean the Moleskines?"
You probably can't even buy them there.
They're expensive.
They're actually showing up everywhere now.
Are they?
They are the hot thing.
I'll wait for the time when it's knockoff. Let's sell some TWiT Moleskines on the website.
We'll call them moleskins.
We can get them made in China for about 50 cents max.
They're underground, though. You got to keep them on the down low.
Yeah, we'll keep them.
Yeah, the man who started Dig.com because you like keeping things on the down low.
Fair enough. I'm thinking that making something else, by the way. Guess I get your terminology correct.
More questions. Come on, guys. Step right up to the microphone. Here we go. Really? A lot thinner in that video?
You look like a male model.
I know. It's depressing. I'm going to go on a diet. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I don't have a cool T-shirt for you. I left it at home.
That's okay.
I do have a question. First, I've got a friend. He's a little ticked off at me that I'm here today as opposed to his birthday barbecue.
Oh, man. Dude, that's wrong.
It's a 4-hour drive.
You're gonna
you better hope you don't.
You drove 4 hours to get
here? No, to get to his barbecue. It's only 2 hours to get here.
Oh, well, there you go.
So it was all math.
Where are you from?
Modesto.
Oh, great. Okay.
So if I could just say happy birthday to Chronic. It's a movie reference, not the drugs. Don't worry.
Sorry, Chronic, that we couldn't be at your barbecue. Maybe next time. I think Noonan's just throwing us out, so we're all going to Chronic's for the next TWiTcast.
Okay, but question was, what do you think is the best way to, if somebody's having a conversation over Skype, to record that and then convert it over to an MP3?
I just saw a new app.
There's something called Hot
Recorder.
Hot Recorder that will do it.
It's good. It's one of the most popular.
Yeah. The problem with it is that Skype, you only get one half of it, right? You get your side, or you get the person's side. But to get both voices is tricky. So there are little hacks. There's a Windows side hack and there's a Mac side hack. I think they use Hot Recorder on the Mac to do it, and it gets both sides of the conversation. The way we always did it was with a mixer, because I always had radio hardware, and it's much easier with a mixer. Because then you're recording your voice straight into the mixer, then feeding that into Skype, and then I'll record the output of the computer. So that.
But I'm poor.
Yeah, I know. That's the expensive way to do it. There's definitely software ways. I'll tell you what. I'll put in the show notes. I'll put links to Hot Recorder, and I'll find the Windows technique. There's a way to do it, though. Yeah. Are you doing a podcast, or you just want to record your?
We're looking into it.
Oh, good.
Just a little something for ourselves and our family.
You and Chronic?
Huh?
You and Chronic?
No. Later on, eventually. For now, me and my cousin.
Chronic's never going to.
It'll be very self-indulgent.
Is that common with
Power
most VoIP
Grandma
apps, though?
Yeah, it is. It's a problem, yeah.
You can record yourself or the other person.
You can't both get both sides, yeah. What is that you're looking at,
This is the one that I saw floating around that records all of your Skype conversations. It's supposed to be the easiest way to do it.
What's the name of that one?
Power Gramo.
I think it's pronounced Moleskine.
I was thinking the same gag. It's funny.
It's spelled
I'll give you the URL for the show notes. I'll paste it over to you.
I'm so glad you're here, Patrick. I don't know what I would do without you.
Patrick's the man.
All right. Go ahead. Ask another question. There's only 4 people in the audience anyway.
I don't want to monopolize this.
No, that's fine.
Okay. This is more something that I'm geeking out over, and I don't know if y'all have talked about it much, but what do you see about online schools that are working with professionals? The one I'm actually in now is animationmentor.com.
Oh, that's neat.
But it's where you just do like webcams with people who work in the business from Pixar or whatever. And I know there's others out there. I just haven't checked.
Alex, you should come over.
Is this a mentoring program, or is it an organized 6 weeks to a full better rendering you?
No, it's an actual certified school, California certified, based in Berkeley, but it's all webcam. And
what's the name of the school?
Animationmentor.com. It was created by people from Pixar, and you work with ILM.
What do you think of it so far?
I love it. It's like I was going to a traditional school, and I graduated from one, and I wanted to go to one of these art schools here in the city.
They're too expensive.
And yeah, this one is like a quarter of the price for half the time, and they were talking to people who are actually in there, and they know you by name, first name basis. Shout out to Charles Allneck right now if he's listening.
Might be a good way to get a job too down the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're done with it, you're gonna know like 6 people in the business who, like the guy I'm with, he did the Yoda fights and all the Star Wars, and I'm sure there's a lot of good people there. I know there are. But it's a great way to do it because you actually get your foot in the door because you're working with people in the business. And I know this is not the only one, so if there's others out there, I'll have them come out because it's a great idea.
Can email us. What's the name of this one again?
It's animationmentor.com.
Well, Alex is here, and Alex probably knows a little bit about this. He worked at LucasArts. In fact, did Lucasfilm, I'm sorry, did Star Wars animation too. Do you know about this animation?
Yeah, Animation Mentor is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a little different than what we do.
When you say we, you mean Pixel Corps.
The Pixel Corps, because we're really a guild, so we do a lot of training like a school would, but only because we have to get people up to speed.
Right.
We're not. The big thing is about 70% of our members are actually people working in the business. So 30% are like really full-time students. So the price is much different. Animation Mentor is really inexpensive. I think it's like $13,000, $14,000 for the whole thing, instead of $30,000 or $40,000. The Pixel Corps is $400 a year.
Right.
So it's
but it's not a training course.
But it doesn't do what we don't do right now. Currently, is that hands-on. Like you have one-on-one meetings with instructors and stuff that Animation Mentor does. We would. Have
so
to
you think that's
15,
a good program? I think
it's a fantastic program. Yeah. It's like I think it's sold out in like 6 weeks. So it's
what a good idea.
Yeah, it's really well done. And I think more of them. I think a lot of the schools are trying to figure it out. The Academy of Art, Art Institute. Right. They all have their own online versions of what they do, but they're a lot more expensive, and they don't really have the
very cool
mix that animation.
So Leo, I think maybe
podcastingmentor.com.
I think we
could do it.
Yeah.
Done. And then
we're the top podcast, apparently.
What did you just get, Kevin? That looks
I don't
good.
know. It's awesome.
You just got some. Is that the Dipsy barley wine?
It's like a raspberry.
No, it looks like some raspberry.
Well, how did you get it? Somebody just brought it to you?
Yeah, somebody just randomly
showed poisoned.
Have a try it.
No, I can't try that.
You can try that, John.
Don't die.
If he explodes in a bloody mass.
Yeah, right.
It infects everyone around me.
It infects all of us.
It's like a raspberry.
It's cassis. It
actually might be cassis.
Yeah,
of some sort.
That's what it is.
Although it says framboise on the side.
Framboise.
It's cassis too.
That sounds delicious.
Some sort of
we got to get the Dipsy barley wine. They're famous for that.
Yeah. Well, that killed the conversation.
Barley wine.
You could try that.
I should.
You could be the barley wine guy.
Well, let's get another talker up here.
Another talker, please.
All right. I was just wondering, Dvorak, what do you think about the future of Mac? What do you think they're going to be doing?
This is
Apple?
this topic that keeps coming up when I say that the Mac's going to be bigger than ever because they're gone to the x86, and I just have to wait for time to prove it.
I think you're going to be right. I actually have to say I've come around. You were I was very negative about it. You were very bullish.
Suicidal.
I was suicidal.
Oh my God!
It's all over. We're going to
I gotta buy some more computers so they get more expensive.
The problem is still, I think there's still a reluctance to, because they have a lot of bad experiences over time, and there's a reluctance to take the full dip, so they're not going to go charging into this market. They're going to do it, go into the waiting side of the pool and kind of work their way over. So it's going to be a while, but I'd say 3 years from now, market share is going to start. That's when it's going to begin to double. So it'll go from
double.
5 to 10, and then 20, and probably they'll be a dominant player.
20 is pretty good.
Yeah, I can see them going to higher than that.
Really? Wow.
Well, with operating systems, I think they can actually dominate.
If they were just selling software.
No, with both.
In addition.
Yeah, in addition too.
Well, I think I agree. I mean,
there will be no Apple computer in 20 years.
There's the other side of the Now, finally, thanks to Amber, we finally, usually we have all these ThinkPads out, and Amber's finally brought a Mac to the table, which is good. Thank you for doing that.
I hope it's okay with everyone.
Yeah,
no.
We were at the Apple store. We had a lineup of IBMs. There were no Macs in evidence
but
at all.
Everybody sitting in the front row is all Mac, with cameras and stuff.
You can humble a Windows user really quick, sitting them down in front of an Apple system and just try to figure it out real quick.
Is it that hard?
It is. For me, it's so unintuitive.
Really?
What, the Apple?
Yeah.
No. You're kidding.
If you've never seen a computer before, it's not bad. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to fall into it.
Well, you keep going to the bottom of the screen trying to click the start button?
Well, finally,
you've got
right-clicking on a mouse button.
I wish everyone could see your face right now, Leo, because you're like, these people are idiots. How can they not understand? No,
I mean, I grew up learning to program on Apple computers, but
I'm befuddled.
A one-click mouse.
In terms of the OS,
and I tell Windows people the first thing to do is get rid of the one-button mouse and get a two-button mouse. But then it's exactly like
And by the way, I expect the two-button mouse to be very slowly adopted.
I hope so. Oh yeah, this stupid Mighty Mouse. I'm so sorry I bought a Mighty Mouse.
It's a piece of crap.
What a junky mouse.
Yeah.
It's collector's item. Don't use it. I'm going to autograph it and give it away in the box of crap. There you go.
It's not just a mouse. It's a design statement of the evolution of interface devices.
It's stupid.
Yes, it is.
I got one more can of Spam to give away.
Did you give away the other can to the Australian guy?
Yeah, he's
You're going to have to declare that to Australian Customs. I don't think they're letting you bring it in. They're going to say,
yeah,
no
they
way.
will.
No way.
No canned meat into
Probably,
Australia?
actually, a lot of these customs guys, they steal it and then eat it for lunch. Happened to me once coming in from France. Yeah.
You double all the Spam, John?
You can't bring in meat. I guess meat in Europe is bad, he says. I had a salami, a beautiful one.
So he had that salami.
Took the thing. It was right around 11:45.
FedEx everything.
That was
in a foreign country.
Yeah, you should have just sat there and ate the damn thing before going through.
FedEx said nothing about eating a whole salami in front of somebody.
That's kind of disgusting. Isn't that a Lucille Ball episode?
Probably.
I think so. They had to eat the cheese before they got off the plane. I may be wrong. I may have fantasized that.
All right, I'll give you the last can. You wanted it.
Come here. Take the last can. This isn't just Spam. It's crazy tasty Spam. It's
There's
crazy
a macaroni,
tasty.
cheese, and Spam recipe on the back, too.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Well, I think we've pretty much milked this particular episode of This Week in Tech. Thank you all for being here. You got your hats? I actually want to thank some people for stuff. We got those great banners from Del Vanderver of Express Signs and Graphics in Gardendale, Alabama. The hats came from Chris Haynes in Corporate Casual. Should we make some of those, John? You think? I think they're pretty nice.
I think you could sell them.
I like them. Who else? I want to thank AOL Radio, of course, for providing the bandwidth for this podcast, AOLmusic.com. Next week, we're going to be at a new location we haven't decided yet, an undisclosed location, and we will be starting an hour early, 3 p.m. Pacific, because Corey Doctorow will be joining us from Boing Boing and EFF. You want to do it at your place?
Let's do it.
All right, everybody at
Have a big
Robert's
deck.
place. Do you? That might be kind of fun.
Sit out there.
That's
Can I bring my dog?
You could bring your dog. We need a place where Patrick can bring his dog.
I want to bring Phelan.
Phelan? You named your dog Phelan?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Feeling. Nothing like
here,
Feeling. Some of the names dogs are named.
Phelan?
That's the phonetic spelling. That's a good one.
How do you spell it?
Well, if you do the Gaelic
like
spelling,
feeling
it's a
groovy?
nightmare.
Oh, it's a Gaelic. Yeah. Is he an Irish
He's
dog?
Little Wolf in Celtic. Relax.
Is he an Irish setter?
Dvorak's like, what the hell are you doing now?
Okay. Little Wolf. Come here, Little Wolf. Thanks to Mark Blasco of podcastthemes.com for our opening theme. Of course, the great Ashley Twit for our closing theme, and Alex Lindsay and the fabulous Pixel Core. Thank you for being here. We're going to do another video. All right, you can look for it on, is it rev3.org/twit?
Revision3.com/twit, right, Ron? Yeah, cool.
Oh, Ron's here, too.
Yeah.
Is that Ron?
That's Ron.
That's the famous Ron. You're a Unix
He's
guru.
the Unix guru right there.
Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah. He tried to help me.
What happened?
Nothing. I was helpless. I couldn't be helped. Our Twit intern is Matt Granowitzki, and if you want, we'll start taking audio questions again next week. So if you'd like to leave a question on our voicemail on Skype, it's This Week in Tech. You can call or fax 206-339-TWIT. This is a Seattle phone number, though, so you're responsible for the toll charges. Or email a waiver MP3 to questions@thisweekintech.com. Amber MacArthur, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
CommandN.TV.
Yes, CommandN.TV. So.
MustSee.tv. And, of course, on Call for Help. Now on Dish, Channel 191, DirecTV, Channel 354. See, I had you on so I could plug the show. And on your local cable, it's 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. You have to get up early for that one. And Jen Cutter. Good work on OpenAlpha.tv. It's really great. I'm going to rush home and get number 3, and we'll see you on Call for Help too. She's going to show us OS 10 on the PC on Call for Help soon. Good idea. Don't tell Apple. It's a secret. Another Twit. This is in the can. TWiT army.
I don't know what the answer is. I really don't.
Let me introduce the table mates. John C. Dvorak, Kevin Rose, Patrick Norton, David Prager, Robert Heron. I got the TWiT army behind me. Microsoft poo-pooed it. Denied is no problem. TWiT army system. It's a fool's paradise. This week.
This is amazing.
In tech. Doing the TWiT. All right. Doing the TWiT, baby. Doing the TWiT. All right. Doing the TWiT, baby. Doing the TWiT. All right. Doing the TWiT, baby. Doing the TWiT. All right. Doing the TWiT, baby. Doing the TWiT. All right. Doing the TWiT, baby. Doing the TWiT. All right. Doing the TWiT, baby.